creating an index in InDesign. So to wrap up our book, we have a table of contents, our documents that are pretty much chapters or segments of my book. Then I need an index. So an index basically is a way that we can look up specific entries that are in the book. And we need to have our own index document, very similar to the table of contents document that we had to add to our book previously. So an index is typically 1 to 2 pages. And again, it's very critical that you have the same document settings that were used throughout the other documents in the book. So I have done that already. I have basically the same exact setting, size, everything as my index. And again, if you wanted to have kind of a shortcut, I would open up a table of contents, save it as an index, delete the content, and now you know that you have everything consistent. So I have my index. What I need to do is add that then to my book. And to do that, again, the plus icon here, locate that document, click open, and it's part of my book. This time I want my index to be at the bottom of my stack or at the end of my book. So to add or create our index entries, we have to go to each document that's part of my book. I have them open already. Remember, you can double click to open them if they are not. So this is an example. Again, very simplified. I've not completed these, but you can get the idea on a simple basis here. So I need to open up my index panel. To locate that, I'm going to go under my window menu, navigate down to type and tables, and there you will find index. So index is a panel that will open, and it looks just like this. And I don't really need to do anything to this at the moment. I need to go back to my document, and I'm going to highlight with my text tool the words that I want to become an entry in my index. So I'm going to select the text that I want, and once I have text selected, I need to use my little new icon at the bottom of my index panel. It's called Create New Index Entry. And when I do that, a new page reference comes up. Later on, you'll find that I can actually put in topic levels here. We'll do that later. And I'm going to click OK. And if I navigate down, you'll see that here is pizza. Let's do a few more on this one. And I can go back and add these. I can update this so I don't have to get everything all at one time. But you can see how really it is quite simple to do. Okay, so once I have some on this document, and I can double check, I get an arrow here, I can see. I'm going to navigate to my recipe 2, which is my second recipe in this book, and again do the same thing. So I could do pizza again. These are independent of each other, so each document has its own list of index items. See how this is unique? This is just for this document. So the index panel is unique to each document. So let's just go ahead and add the rest of these ingredients here. Oops, I must not have got it. Let's cancel that. Let's try this again. Get the full word selected. There we go. We can add our own too. As you see, I don't have to highlight. I can just add my own by going to new. And we'll get the last one here. Again, like I said, this is super simple. Now with my index, I'm going to navigate to my index document inside this book panel. If I wanted to, I can open this up. Okay, and very similar to the table of contents in that what I'm going to do is generate a index based on my book. So down at the bottom of my index panel, don't be alarmed, you don't see anything in there quite yet. We have some icons here. This is the update. Right next to the update, between the new and update, is the generate. So I'm going to click that. A mini dialog box pops up. I can title this and again put a style on here. I can tweak that later if I would like. I do have some more options here if you want to get into nesting and all kinds of more details. Let's just keep this simple for the moment. I do want to mention one thing here at the entry separators. I can do some different types of separators, for instance, between page numbers if this index item is on multiple pages, between entries, all of those things. The most important thing here is this checkbox, include book documents. Again, you have to make sure that that is checked. If that is not checked, you're not going to get an index. Your index will be blank. So I'll click OK. And again, I get my loaded text cursor here, and I'm in my table or my index document. I do have a box here ready to go. I'm going to click, and here it is. So now I can go back and format this if I wanted this to be multiple columns. If I wanted to actually include multiple pages, I could do that. So now you can see that I have all of these pieces, and I have my overset text. Let's just cheat for a moment here and select and drag this down, because what's happening is it's not quite all fitting there. I still have some pieces down below. There we go. So pizza, for instance, was on 2 different documents, and so it's on page 3 and on page 5. This is the pages in my book. Very simple to do. The index entries, I want to point out, are saved with the book. So recipe 1's indexes and recipes 2's, if I navigate to those documents, these are saved with this document. All right. So those are the creating an index in InDesign. Again, a way that InDesign will create that it'll create that numbering for you from the pagination in the book. So it's a very helpful tool, and you have to do it while you're building your documents. Now, if I did want to do a cross-reference, I can do that, and that would allow me to use sort of a subcategory. So I could put in, you know, something like pizza and then put in the pieces below it. That gets a little bit more in depth. For right now, I just want you to know how to generate the page number with the index items. So that's an index in InDesign.